All right, so now that you know what density actually is, we're going to show you a couple ways to help you remember how to use the formula or actually solve using it. And it's using something called the density triangle. So real quick, let's just recap. Remembering the formula for density is equal to
Mass
over
divided
volume.
by
mass divided by volume. So that's really cool and nice and easy if you're always just solving for density, right? Mass divided by volume, mass volume, mass volume, mass volume, no problem. But what if you have to solve for the mass or solve for the volume? Meaning, what if you already know the density and you need to find out how much mass there is, or you need to find out how much volume there is?
Oh, man.
Well, one of the ways you could do is you could use algebra. Now, I'm a little dodgy with the math sometimes. How about you, Mr. Harkins?
I'm great at math. Ask anybody.
I'm actually really good at it, guys. Want me to show you how to do it?
If you could, that
All
would
right.
be wonderful.
I'm going to go to the math room and show you guys how to do it, all right?
Humble
Here we
brag.
go.
All right, let's look at how you would get mass or volume equations using algebra from the original density equation. So let's say I wanted to get mass by itself on one side of the equation, and therefore I'd have the equation for mass. Well, what I need to do is get rid of volume here, okay? So in order to get rid of volume, what I need to do, see how mass is divided by volume? Well, to get rid of that, you multiply this side by volume and this side by volume, and that means this cancels out, so then you have an equation of V times D, or volume times density, equals mass. Now let's do the same thing for volume. So we got D equals M over V, okay? Now this one's a little more complicated. We want volume by itself on one side of the equation. But right now, it's actually in the denominator of this fraction. So we need to multiply by V, just like in the last equation. So you get V times D equals M. Okay, now to get V by itself, we're going to divide by D. So that cancels out. Remember, you got to divide both sides by D. Then your final equation you get is V equals M over D. Mass over density.
At first level, I can't believe it. Ooh, good tunes, man.
Oh,
He's back. Cheese it.
And that's how science works.
Yeah,
with
totally.
stuff.
Science.
That is,
All right.
Yeah, I remember that with the numbers. That was great. How did the Chamber of Math
How'd it go? Chamber of Math good?
Good, good.
Good. Yeah, we're paying attention. We learned a lot.
All right, so
All right, well, that's one way you could do it, is using the algebra.
And that was a good way. I got a lot out of
I
that.
did too. I totally know how
I
to
got
do
a
algebra
different
now.
way I like to do it, though. It's like a little simpler
it
for my
easier?
tiny brain. I think it is for me. I don't have a big
What
one.
is
I
it?
like this one. I like to use that thing called the density triangle. Makes it easy for me to remember, and I like that.
all right.
All right, so when you use the triangle, the key thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the variable that you're solving for. So if you're solving for mass, you take mass out. Density, you take density out. Volume and volume. Place an equal sign between it and the other two variables, and now you have your formula. So for example, if we take density out,
We remove density.
So we're solving for density, is what you
Yes.
guys are saying. So I want to
Yeah.
find the density.
plop an equal sign in.
So these are like for questions maybe that we've been doing already. Or find the density if you know this mass and this
So
volume.
then density in this case is equal to mass divided by volume, which is
Yep.
what we've been saying.
So like since the M is above the V, think of that as M divided by V.
Divided sign, that's what the sign is. That's cool. I like this. This is easier for me.
So then mass, what you would do is you remove the M, because that's what you're solving for. Put that off to the side. Okay. And move that and put an equal sign between them. That means D times V equals
Because they're
M.
next to each other, so you multiply those.
Multiplying, right. Just like when you have them in parentheses in math
sweet.
class.
Okay, I get it. I get
Maybe
it.
you should
Okay.
try the last one.
I'm going to try it. Okay, so if we're going to figure out the volume, then what I need to do is take the volume, the V, and move it off to the side, right? That's great. Thank you for the assist there with the telekinesis. So now what that tells me is I've got volume off on the side. I can put an equal sign in there. And that means that it's M divided by D because the M is over the D. So it means that V equals M over D, or
Mass.
volume equals mass divided by the density. And that'll give me the volume. I like that. And that triangle works for all that, doesn't it?
Yep.
Density triangle.
Nice!
So any question you get, you now know how to, whether you're solving for volume or mass or density, you could use
You can
this
use the
density
one triangle for that, for the win.
All right.
Or,
Very nice.
Or the algebra.
Have a good day.
Later.